Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you all so much for joining this live stream event today. My name is Alexia, and I am the project and event manager at Microsoft Reactor Toronto. We will share some session resources with you in the chat, as well as answer any questions you may have. You can send your question in the chat as well. But before we begin, I'd like to quickly review two items: our code of conduct and our event guidelines. First, our code of conduct seeks to provide a respectful environment for both our audience and presenters. We encourage engagement in the chat, but please be mindful of your commentary. Please remain professional and on topic. Secondly, our event guidelines. This session is recorded and will be available on demand through the Microsoft Reactor YouTube channel in about 48 to 72 hours. I will share the link in the chat as well for our YouTube channel. If you've not been on a live stream through YouTube before, please note that you must create an account on YouTube to have access and interact in the chat. You can set that up now if you're unable to use the chat, but have question, feel free to reach out to us on social media or on Meetup. Which brings us to today's session, SharePoint List PowerApps, a success story. I'm going to bring in our speaker here.
Hello.
Hi there. How are you, Akel?
Hey, Alexa. How are you?
Very good.
Thrilled
Thank
to be
you.
here.
We're thrilled to have you as well. Yeah, I mean, we're super excited for today's session. I'm going to leave the floor to you now.
Perfect. Let me share my screen. Oh, I can. Oh, okay, perfect. You can see everything right? Okay. This is welcome to my session. This is my session about SharePoint List Power Apps. I'm going to tell you about a success story about this type of Power Apps. But let me begin. My name is Michael Mendoza. I'm a business apps MVP. I'm also the business apps team lead at my company, that is Intellectia Technologies, and the company I work for. I'm also the author of the Power Apps cookbook that you can find on Amazon Unpacked. As you can see, I live for business apps. I live for the Power Platform. I live for Power Apps, especially because it's one platform to build applications that I really love. That I have everything in my I really love working with that. And you can find me on mostly on Twitter. This is my handle, as my name is really particular. You can find me anywhere from with my name on LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever. And you can also reach me from my from my company website at intellectia.com, or my personal blog, that is Power Nimbus, that is not related to Harry Potter. Nimbus is a type of cloud, but my wife loves Harry Potter, so this is a win-win situation. Okay, so I'm going to tell you about one of the components of the Microsoft Power Platform, because you have everything to build solutions for your organizations with all these components that you see here. I'm going to start from the right. Is the blue one is Power Automate, is the component of the Power Platform that allows you to automate things or integrate almost everything that you might think of. Any solution, any thing that you need to automate, you can do it with Power Automate. And coming next is Power BI. This is the most popular component of the Power Platform that allows you to visualize data. Almost anyone and everyone knows about Power BI. And the next one is Power Virtual Agents. That is the newest addition to the Power Platform that allows you to build chatbots using low code. It's really easy to build this type of connectivity with the users. And the first one that we have here is Power Apps. That is a service platform to build high productivity business applications. As the name implies, it allows you to build almost anything that you might think or you might need or have a requirement in your organization. You can build applications to enter data, to manipulate data, almost everything that you might need with this. And how it does it? It does it with two main Power Apps types. You have Canvas apps and model-driven apps. There's another one that is called Power Apps portals. That is, I'm not showing here this edition of Power Apps because it's more built for another solution or another requirement for organization. I'm going to tell you about a little bit about later on. Especially we're going to talk today about Canvas apps is the type of app that, as the name implies, is a canvas to build applications using any design, any user interface that you might need to build your application. Maybe your organization has a specific requirement to show images, to show data, to build alerts, or have any type of user interface that you might need. You can build it with Canvas apps, and also allows you to connect to multiple data sources. It doesn't matter if it's a database, an API, or even a file on your local services or your local servers. Sorry, you can put everything together into an application that you can use on mobile devices, tablets, web browsers, Teams, wherever. Okay, and the model-driven apps are the apps that are built from a data structure. They're built or they are created from that data structure. You think about that, uh, build that data structure, for example, many tables or whatever that you might need for your requirements, and the application grows from that. It allows you to build rapid applications with that in mind. That is really helpful because many people know the process, know that what they want to do or what they want to build with these Power Apps, and they know I work with customers, I work with codes, I work with invoices or whatever that you might build that, those tables and create an app from that. And speaking of Canvas apps, because SharePoint List PowerApps is a type of Canvas apps, to build those solution or build those applications, you're going to use the Power Apps Studio. Is, as you can see, a really helpful visual designer because you enter all the components that you need to build your application from using a canvas to enter controls, buttons, text inputs, labels, just as you were building a PowerPoint presentation. You have the canvas and start building your UI as you see fit. But this type of apps allows you to take advantage of the device capabilities it is running from. For example, the device camera, if you're running on a mobile device, or well, laptops as well have webcams. You can use the GPS or digital link if you're writing on the mobile phone, and you can build these applications using language expression that is inspired on Excel. It's called PowerFX. This language is trying to make easier for the so-called citizen developers because they are people that know the process. They have a little knowledge of technology, but they want to take that knowledge of the process and start building applications with that knowledge in mind. For example, almost everyone has been working with an Excel file and build formulas to handle data. So that knowledge can be used to improve that knowledge to build this type of applications, and also extends capabilities with connected data sources. You're building an application that connects to any data source that you might think of, and write and manage this data that's coming from those data sources. As I told you before, these applications are meant to be used wherever you want to, in in a tablet or a mobile phone. You can build applications that are responsive, that allows you to move or allows you to build one application that runs on every device and adapts to the device screens or whatever that you might need. Okay. Besides this, Power Platform has something that's called connectors. These connectors are the power of this platform, because it allows you to connect to almost 500. Almost no, I think we're about to reach 600 already built-in connectors. Not only for services from Microsoft, as you can see here, have Google Drive, Jira, PagerDuty. All these services allows you to connect to the Power Platform and have all the methods or everything that is required to interact with those services. And not only services that are cloud-based. For example, you can have a SQL database on a local server, and you can connect with that using this connector with a data gateway to connect to those services in your local on-premises or your local servers, or you can connect with cloud-based services such as Jira, as I told you before. Okay, and you can also create your own custom connectors. Maybe you have an API on your local organization and you need to connect to that, and there's no built-in connector created for that purpose. So you can build a custom connector to have all the methods that required to interact with your local API, build that connector and put it on your organization, so anyone building solutions using the Power Platform can use them. um, this custom connector not only works for Power Apps, you can also use them in Power Automate. For example, every time I receive an email with this header, with this title on the email, I can save that information into a database for whatever reason, and using your own API or your own custom connectors. And what I told you before as well, you can use multiple data sources in a single application. You can, as the example I was telling you about, I can have a connection to Outlook, to a Jira's cloud server, or whatever connection in a single application. Okay. And also, one of the things that is great about building Power Apps is that you can use them anywhere. As you can see here, you can use those applications on SharePoint. You can embed it on SharePoint sites. You can use it on SharePoint List PowerApps, as we are going to see later on. You can use them on mobile devices. You can embed it on Teams. And this is some kind of inception, because this is a Power App embedded in a Power BI report. As you can see, in this case that I'm showing here, you can update this data, and it updates the data into the data source and updates the report in real time. And these applications are not mock-ups. These are actual applications that we built for some reason on my organization. This is the actual application that got the success story. This is an application that we use. We have a newer version, a more modern version of this application to time tracking in our organization. This is a demo application, and this is the Power BI report that I was telling you about. It allows you to really integrate to Microsoft 365 or the Power Platform. Okay, I'm going to do a demo of Power Apps right now, so you can see all the possibilities of the application that I tell you just before. But I forgot to do something. Sorry, let me. I'm going to. I was the company told me that I needed to tweet about this event. Let me just do it real quickly. I hope I'm not crossing anything. Let me tweet about this real quickly. Okay, let me find the picture. And okay, tweet. Okay, if not, my company will kill me. But this was a trick. I hope I did fool you. This is not Twitter. As you can see here in the URL, this is a Power App. This is one of the first Power Apps I created on, I don't know, many years ago. As you can see, it builds upon the user interface of Twitter. It mimics the user interface. It has regular expressions to highlight, for example, the mentions or the hashtags. I can even change the theme as Twitter does, and everything I'm doing here. Also get information for followers and stuff like that. Everything that you see here is built on Power Apps. I even have some integrations here in this application because it connects to Twitter, but it also uses AI Builder to test the sentiment of any particular tweet. Here I have some one tweet about from Bruno, and you can see here if I click the heart, is not going to like the tweet. It's going to analyze the tweet, and if it's a good tweet, it's going to uh, get into it will get the red color. But if it's another, it will be neutral, and it's going to show you the gray color. As you can see, this is an example of an application. I have Twitter, the actual Twitter website here. It almost mimics the user interface almost with almost the capabilities of the Twitter website. There are some things that I can't do because, for example, I cannot get the GIFs or the videos embedded on the tweets, because that's a particular thing about Twitter. But I can, as you can see, tweet from my application. I'm going to refresh the actual Twitter website so you can see my tweet. Here. Whoa, don't move. Okay, the tweet that just posted from my application is actually here, so it actually works. It's not just a user interface mimic. Okay, so going back to the demos, let me go here, and sorry for mix up. Okay, my computer is okay. Let me, okay. So you can see here, there are two more Canvas apps demos that I have here. In here, we have a wedding planner that we created for a customer that allows the people that is actually getting the information from the people that is going to organize a wedding, to get all the information from those users, and even accept the marketing things and stuff, and even get the signature from the customer. Or the customer can get here and say, oh, okay, I want a table here, I want a table here, I want the cheese table here, and whatever the actual customer wants for their wedding. And all the information that is going to be captured here is going to be sent to a Microsoft list, and even the image and the signature is going to be saved on SharePoint. So the people that are actually are going to organize the event and prepare a quote for the customer can have all the info. Okay. And on the right, another example of an application that is Power Vault, that it connects to an Azure Key Vault to get the secrets from that vault. If I click here, I'm going to query the information, and the secret is going to be revealed for me. It's kind of a password manager, for example. But the good thing about this application that is responsive as well. If I put it like this on this size, it's going to resize accordingly. If I have more space, it's going to show me a panel here with the data. But if I click here, I'm going to see a screen flipping. Another example, in this case, not using Canvas apps, these are model-driven apps. Model-driven apps, as I told you before, it builds upon the data, builds upon the data structure that you need for your organization or your solution or requirements. In this case, we have many information from waste management example. If I go here, I will see all the information of the cost of collecting that waste from customers that requires to get something collected to get the waste management. As you can see here, there's an invoice. This is going to cost you this type of amount. This is the data from the customer. Everything is related. If I go here to this link, I'm going to go to the exact quote information that says all the things that we need to collect from this customer. And for example, we have information from the vehicles that we're using in our collection, and we can even have panels here to see which collections are active or are in route or something like that. And also to show you that the tight integration with another example, this is another application from the Power Platform. This is data from the countries that are working, we are working here. And if I click here to visualize this data, Power BI automatically gets that data, analyzes that, and prepares a report for me with this list of countries and regions that we are working with our customers. So it's really easy for the users to extract and analyze this data. We can change the continent, the region, and the graphic or the report will work accordingly. Okay, so let's go back to the slides here. Okay, so now that we know how Power Apps works and this type of Canvas apps, we have seen some examples here. We're going to learn about SharePoint List Power Apps. This type of Power Apps are born or related to Canvas apps. These are Canvas apps that gets embedded into SharePoint lists, so you can handle the information from those lists with more capabilities. Okay. I'm going to tell you about the benefits of using this SharePoint List Power Apps. They are database as not as model-driven apps, but get the metadata of those lists to build the app. You build your list, you get all the columns that you need for your list to handle the data, and Power Apps actually gets that information and says, okay, do you need a title here? Do you need a drop down here? From that metadata, it is going to build your application really easy. You almost need to change the UI or adapt the logic that you need for your application. Is tightly integrated into SharePoint Online. As you can see here, if you have a list, you will see on your toolbar the button that says Integrate to Power Apps, and where you can create an standalone Canvas apps, or you can customize forms using Power Apps to build a greater form handling mechanism. Okay. You can exploit the full potential of Canvas apps. Since it's related to Canvas apps, you can use the same advantages of Canvas apps. You can have an application embedded in a SharePoint list, but also connected to a SQL database or connected to an API or whatever, even if the application is embedded into your SharePoint list. So it opens the possibilities to building solutions. And one thing that many people love is the low licensing cost, because SharePoint is to be able to have SharePoint, you already might have a Microsoft 365 license. So if you build Power Apps using SharePoint data, is known as a standard connector, as a standard solution in the Power Platform. So it doesn't increase the cost of needing a license or needing something extra. For example, if you need to build a custom connector, well, you're going to need a license. Or if you're connecting to a local on-premises data, or you're building something extra that is more related to the Power Platform and not related to Microsoft 365, it's not going to cost you more than the license you're already paying. For example, you want to connect to Planner. Planner is a standard connector because it's from Microsoft 365. So this is a good reason to love this type of apps. So I'm going to show you the benefits of using these applications in a demo. Let me close Power Tutor and go to this site. I prepared this site as an example, so you can see all the things that I've been talking with. Okay, we have here a ticket tracking example of, for example, using a regular SharePoint list. If I go here, I can have some ticket tracking list that has a concept, a date, the project related to this ticket, the amount, and the status. As you can see, SharePoint list has grown into a better way because you can put formatting for each column, so you can have for the rejected red color, for the approved a blue one. You can even improve this, so it is easier to see the data. If I click here, I actually without anything to build as an application or something like that, I can start changing the data, and it automatically saves the data for me. And you can, as you can see, it's really easy, it's really fast, and also allows you to configure the layout of this form. It's kind of difficult. It's not for the faint of heart, as you can see. This is an example of Microsoft Docs documentation. We can work with the header of the form, we can work with the body, and we can add a footer for this form. But as you can see, it requires a specific JSON with some styling, with some transformations that allows you to build using, for example, all these transformations to get a form just like this, more landscape with a better header, and a link here as a footer. Is kind of difficult to work with that, and it only allows you to represent the data better in a form. If you need to, for example, add some logic or some specific validations, or something more application-like, that's where the SharePoint List Power Apps comes handy. Because let me go here. If I close this, let's go back to the home site. If we see the same list, but this time using a SharePoint List Power Apps, we can do something like this. As you can see here, it opens a Power App for you to handle the same data that you have here. But you can change all the user interface as you like, because we're using Canvas. We can put a header, a bigger header, a bigger font, more information here. All the attachments that you have on your ticket from the restaurant, you can see all this information in a more in a better way, because you can have all this information here, and in a with for example, you can have a viewer for your attachments and stuff like that. And it doesn't matter the data, because it will adapt all the information that you need and you see here. So you can have a better information, or a better way to handle this data. But not only that, if I build this type of application inside a SharePoint List Power Apps, we can reuse that application, for example, embedding that application into a page of SharePoint. As you can see here in this example, I have, for example, a homepage for my intranet. We have events, and also have the application right here to handle all the information from list on another site. So it's really a good approach to handle data. Another example here is that if I have this, I show you PowerTutor before, but as I was telling you, that we can embed or have all the capabilities of the Canvas app into SharePoint List Power Apps. If I go here and click New, it starts showing all the tweets that I have on my timeline. I can, for example, save this one because it's important for me. I'm going to save this one as well, and save this one as well. And everything, all the information that is getting from Twitter is going to appear here on my SharePoint list. If I hit refresh, all the tweets that I thought it was important for me is going to appear here. We have I can have any information related to that, the timestamp of the tweet, or whatever information that I need, and I can use this information connected to a Power BI, for example, and have some graphics or some data visualizations. It's really helpful for when building applications in SharePoint. Okay. So let's go back to the slides. I don't know if I have some questions here. Okay, let me see. I would like to hear about how to decide when to use a SharePoint list versus a reverse for an app. Okay, the first one. Okay, thank you, Alexia. And this is really helpful because you need to think about the scalability of your application. Remember that SharePoint is not meant to be a database. SharePoint is good for low to mid amount of data. If you're building an application that you're going to be using across all your organization with, I don't know, 1,000. Well, no, 1,000. No, you can use 1,000 millions of records. I will expect to be using Dataverse for that, because Dataverse is an actual database. I don't know if you know that Dataverse is built upon Azure SQL. So you can have relationships. Do you have a more? It's really fast. There, I've been testing that. For example, in a chapter in a recipe of my book, for just to share that with you, that I did some testing about the response of SharePoint and the response from Dataverse. And Dataverse is really fast, and because it allows you to build upon the data you have. You can have more complex scenarios with building those applications. So it depends on the scalability of your application. Okay, the second one. Well, I hope that resolves your question. The next one is, can we more specific to those that doesn't need premium license? Okay, there are some particular things that might end up needing a premium license. It depends, because you have two main type of license. One is the Power Apps per user plan. That is a regular license that you assign to an user, and that allows them to be a pro developer, sort of speak, because it can do anything about related to Power Platform, to building apps, to building portals, to building anything that they want without any almost any limitations. And there's another one that is the Power Apps per app plan, that allows an environment of a Power Platform environment to assign a license for people that need this license. To give an example, I'm a regular user. I need to use an application that has been developed in my organization, and I don't have a license. I go to that environment, open the application. The environment sees that I don't have a license, and takes one from the pool. So you build a pool of license, and it gives you a license depending on the application that you're opening. And specifically to your question, there are some things that you might need a license. For example, if you need a premium connector, for example, if you want to connect to an Azure service, for example, text sentiment, no, I don't know, for example, well, Azure SQL, for example, that is a premium connector, or a custom connector that you already created. Your users are going to need that license. No, you might have a license for example, a Power Apps per user license. It's going to be for you, but the users that are going to use your application are the ones that are going to need those premium licenses. And in fact, I'm going to try to remember later on. I'm going to show you where you can see if your application is requesting or is going to be needing a premium license. But it almost depends on that, on the premium connectors. Okay. Uh, Also, would the answer to be the same if the data is in Microsoft Access? Well, actually, yes, because one of the things that is really funny, that is because there's actually a new connector that was built by Microsoft to connect to Microsoft Access. Because I don't know, I'm not the type of person that mocks people that is working with JavaScript, or people are working with Power Apps, or people are working with Pro Code, Low Code. I don't mind. I don't mind if your application is built on Microsoft Access. If it does what its purpose of that application, it runs, you don't need to touch it. If it works, if it works for the organization and it's built on Microsoft Access, it doesn't matter. It depends on, as I told you before, as I said before, sorry, the scalability. If you need an application that connects to an API to be so you can use it from for example, a tablet connected to the cloud. So I don't need to be on the office to open the Microsoft Access, or have a connection as a VPN to your organization to open your Microsoft Access application. So if you want to improve what's built on that application, you can opt to build a solution with Power Apps, because they live in the cloud and they actually help you build build applications that scale. Okay. The next one: do you develop Canvas apps from database or from form? Which do you prefer? I always prefer not use forms because forms are really easy to build applications, because it takes all the metadata from that data source. It might be an Azure SQL database, or a local server, or a SharePoint list. It gets that and builds the form for you, but it's really tight. I don't know. All the controls are built on boxes, and you need to, if you want to improve the UI, you need to change almost everything from the form, but it does the job. I need a fast application, so people can enter data from here and gets validated, and also connects to another solution, or another thing. So I need to use Power Apps, but the UI to get the data is going to be fast, and it's going to be done really quickly. But I don't like to use forms. I prefer to handle the UI myself. Okay, so I think there are no more questions. Okay, I'm going to continue. So we saw the benefits demo, but not everything is good. There are some drawbacks to working with SharePoint List Power Apps, and one of the things is what Raymond just asked me, because when we embed a Power App inside a form, a SharePoint list form, you need to always click on edit to edit the data, to edit the Power App, because the Power App will always show you the information as in view mode. So everyone has to click on edit and then enter the data. It's not as when we're using a SharePoint list, because we see the data, enter the data, automatically saves, and everything is good from that. No, in Power Apps, you need to control everything. You need to control, people need to click on edit, and you need to control the saving and the updating of data and stuff like that. So it takes some people that don't like that. So it's really annoying. The SharePoint Integrator Control. This SharePoint Integrator Control works as it should, because it handles everything from the SharePoint side. If one person clicks on to enter a new element, it handles the on new function. If you want to edit something, it handles the on edit function. It handles all the integration with between SharePoint and the Power App, but is somehow sometimes it's erratic, because you can't depend on that for doing some logic. For example, if the form is on new form, but is not using the ID of the record, I'm going to do something. You can depend on that. I'm going to show you on an example later on. And what I was saying to Raymond, the forms that are built from data, as you can see here, are really fast. You have everything in place to start entering data, but it's not pretty. It's not, I don't know. I see this and see, well, where are all the capabilities of building beautiful UIs or beautiful designs for my application? But it gets the job done. Okay, let's see the demo of this now. I'm going to go here to the drawbacks. And as you can see here, what I was telling you about, the edit mode. If I go here to update some data, for example, from this list, if I click here, I'm automatically updating data. In a Power App, I need to click on edit all to enter the data. So it's a step that some users don't like, because they say, "Oh, why do I need to click on edit to do the same?" As you can see in this example, If I click on Power Apps, I will see a Power App handle my data. It's getting the purple. If it's here is purple, it will change the color to blue. It depends on the color that you see here. It adds some logic to the application. But if I want to click on the data, I don't have the possibility because I need to click on edit first. So some people don't like that, and you have the save here, and you have the, I don't know, it gets in the way to have an user adoption of this type of applications. The other demo I'm going to show you is the SharePoint integration control. It works as it should. If I click on here, it is hearing from SharePoint, okay, we're seeing we need to open the data of the record with the ID number 1. Okay, if I click here, open the record of the ID 2. If I go here, it connects is connected to SharePoint to have the information. But what happens if I click, for example, 2 and then click new? Where is this 2 coming from? So this is not good. You can't depend on the SharePoint integration control to interact correctly with SharePoint. You have to add some logic. Okay, we are not connected to one record. We're creating a new record, so you can depend on that when building applications. So you need to be aware of that. And to give you another example on the drawbacks, the form control. Well, we already saw that it's not especially pretty. Is a form that doesn't allow you to move correctly. It's not showing. I don't know why, but it's the same one that we already saw, but it's not showing for me right now. I don't know if because I'm sharing my screen. No, well, it should be opening here, but it doesn't mean that you can't change the UI. We're going to see from some images that I have here, we can build really good applications using this type of apps. In this case, this is the example we built for our customer. We have a more pleasant UI. We have embedded some map data for our customers and some images with a viewer here. We even created tabs for them so they can have more information in one screen. And we have many examples of building UIs differently for depending on the requirements of this customer. So don't use always or don't always use those forms. Expand your I don't know, your inner designer and build applications that are more pleasant for the users. Okay, but that's it for the drawbacks. I'm not going to be a bummer here. Okay, I'm going to tell you about some tips about building SharePoint List PowerApps. One of the things that is really good for this is if when you create an app that is connected to a list, you will see that whenever you click on new or you click on a record, it will show the application. But as we saw before, if we get the app ID from that application, we can get that, put it on a SharePoint widget, and it will show you as embedded. Okay. And another thing that is one thing that is kind of the pro developer mode is that it's really possible to have continuous integration with this because we are building applications inside a list. What if I need to build these applications in a development site and then move that application to a production site? The only way that I knew at that moment when I was building this case is opening the both apps and copy paste. But that was really crazy. So I started to work with that and see how Power Apps works and what were the inners of the Power Apps to see what was able to do. So I'm going to show you right now in this demo what I did to handle this. Okay. As I was telling you just before, if I have a SharePoint list integrated into a list, it opens just like that. It handles the form that SharePoint will use to show my Power App. how can I see that form? If I go here to list settings, I will see there is a link here that says form settings, and it will ask me what do I need to do, what I want to do with those forms. Use the default SharePoint form, or I can modify the form in Power Apps, and this will open Power Apps Studio for me with the application, so I can change the application and adapt the application quickly. And I can see here the versions and usage of my application. This is really cool because one of the things that the Power App has is that it continues is saving continuously your application. The first time you save, every 5 minutes it will save your application, so you have version control of your application. So if I go here, I will see the details of my application, and this is what I was about to tell you, Raymond. In here, you will see the license designation of your application. If you see standard here, no one will need a license for this because it's a standard application. If I create some custom connectors, or if I use a custom connector or connect to a premium connector, it will say here premium. So this way you will see if you're going to need if you're going to need a license or not. Okay, in here I can see all the versions of my application. This is when I started, this is when I did a mess. I don't know what I did wrong, I need to go back. Simply click here. Oh, this one, well, these are really old versions of my app. I need to create newer ones because it's showing me this information but cannot go back. It has, as you can see, you can go back to the last 6 months of your application, but you get the idea. You can restore your application to another moment in time. And this is actually really good because it works just like when you're working with the Word documents. You go back to the previous version because I did a mess on my application. And as you can see here, this is the Power Apps Studio building the application that I showed you before. Here we have the SharePoint integration. As you can see here, this is the one handling all the events from SharePoint. Whenever it's new, whenever it's edit, and all the things that I can do with this integration. And this is the one that if I click on save, this is the one. This is the method that is going to run, and I can change everything from here to handle all the information for me. And here in settings, I can change more stuff about my application. I can change the UI to a specific size or a specific it's telling me here if I change this she will need to adapt the controls and stuff like that. I can have all these features for me. Okay, and one other thing that I see here that is really important for you to know is that if I have an application built here, I can export that application. If I click here to export the package, it will say, okay, let's get this application into a package so you can take it somewhere else. The thing is that if I go to somewhere else and import this package into Power Apps, if I go here, for example, here to Power Apps, it will say, okay, let's import this package that you got from your development site, and let's import it here. It will try to see the development side. Even if you're putting that in here in apps, if I import the package, it will try to connect to the development side, not the production side. That's the idea of me moving the package from one place to another. So it's really a mess. So I got wondering, what can we do with this? So I extracted my application from that package that I downloaded, and as you can imagine, all the Power Apps are really is a really a zip file with many JSON files with information, with some kind of information from where do I need to connect, where is my data source, all the things that related to that application, the UI, everything that you need to. So I started reading all these JSON files. Yes, I'm crazy, but I got the information from where is my application connected to. If that information is if I recall correctly, is on the I don't know if here in the data source section. This is not the actual an actual Power Apps list form app, but you will see the information here. It says where is the SharePoint site, where is the list, and the ID of that list. So I got wondering, what can I do with this? So uh, I created a project in Azure DevOps, so I can have my applications uploaded to a GitHub repository, and every time an application gets uploaded to to that repo, it would run the pipeline for the release version, and whenever I put that application, it will run this. What is the code that is running here? We're going to see here. One of the tasks that is actually working with is PowerShell. PowerShell does everything for everything. I think PowerShell fixes fridges and stuff like that. But as you can see here, it with some code, I'm extracting the Power App and replacing the site ID, the list ID, and the list URL from the file. As you can see here, it takes the Power Apps, extract the JSON, and start replacing this. With what? I set variables here, get the information that you have there, and put this list ID, this list URL because it's production, and this site URL. So if whenever I put a file on that repository, it will extract the file, make some replacements using, in this case, regular expressions to handle the change here. I will change all the URL and will connect that application from development side to the production side. So if I import that application into my production site, it will connect to the site, to the list that I want to be connected to, making this some sort of um, what's the name, ALM solution. So I put an application on my repository, and everything is going to be built upon that and will make the changes for me. This code, I don't know if I have it online, but if not, I'm going to put it on my GitHub repository, so you can check that that code if it's working for you. Okay. And what else? I'm about to end. This is the takeaway of this session is this is not all about technology. Why SharePoint List Power Apps became a success story? Is because we built this solution for this government uh, company, or it's not a company, it's a program from the Spain government that helps the elderly people from the communities to stay active. It takes all the old people and to art classes, to dance classes, so those people don't get that I don't know, forgotten from the community. So they were working with this type of Word documents, going from that to there. Okay, let's put this is the schedule of all the activities that we're working with the elderly, and we're going to work they send this document from email, from person to person. Anyone was editing this file, it was a real mess. They have all the information on boxes on paper because they were printing that. So we changed that with building SharePoint List Power Apps. In here you see all the companies that were working with that, the instructors of painting, of dancing, of all the activities that were working with the elderly, and these were all the companies connected to that program. These were all the activities. We're going to take them to the movies, so they can see this movie that we're showing. This is the date of the activity. These are the people that are working with. Are the municipalities that we're working with that, and have all the information because they were sharing these pictures of the activities, sharing those pictures from WhatsApp and stuff like that. So we integrated this application, so they didn't use some third-party services to build their solution, because in one place they had all the information. All this information led us from change to that Word document to an actual scheduling in SharePoint and connections to Power BI, so they can see where the actual activities we're working with, and the amount of people that were going to these events, and they can have dashboards built for them, so they can see which municipality we're working more with those elderly people. And so I can show you that this was, oh, I can show you this. Let me go real fast here. This got an actual case because I was speaking with Samir from Microsoft to build I use a success story in the Power Apps blog. So you can see here all the activities that they work with the elderly people, and all the story that I was telling you about, well, in more words, but about what we did for them to improve their program, because improving the program improve the lives of these people. And think that's it for me. Thank you very much.
Hey, Ekel, awesome.
Hey,
We see a lot of questions in the comments. I think that you already cover most of them. So I don't know if you want to give them a quick view again. But hey, it was great. I didn't know a lot of stuff.
Thank
so
you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For the audience, we still have a couple of more minutes. If you have any question, feel free to drop it in the chat. And please, if you can, if you can answer our survey, we are trying to make this event better and better and trying to help you. So if you go to that link and then the event ID, which is 15322, give us our feedback and we'll be super happy to help.
Perfect. I don't know if there are any new questions. No, I don't see. I see something from Raymond that says, and why? Oh, can we use solutions to transfer app from dev to in this case? No, because that's the actual idea, or as the actual purpose of solutions. For the SharePoint List PowerApps, you can't use that those solutions. In fact, if you go to PowerApps, you see that this is the application ticket tracking form on embedded demo forms. If I go to PowerApps alone, I won't see. Sorry, I didn't saw that my screen wasn't showing. You will see that the application won't appear here in the list of applications that you have. If I try to find this application that is ticket tracking, it won't show. So if I don't see it here, well, this is another one. If I don't see it here, I won't be able to add these applications to a solution. That's one of the good things about building a standalone Power Apps or model-driven apps, because they can be embedded or included into a solution to move from environments, and that you have all the power of ALM and stuff like that to move a application from one place to another. Okay. In this case, for SharePoint List Power Apps, you need to do the trick that I show you.
Perfect. So we are on time. Thank you very much. I guess thank you everyone who attended and be here. Recording is going to be ready in a couple of hours, in a couple of days. That's a mystery for me. And hoping to see you next one. I want to learn more about this. So thanks everyone.
I have many things about Power Platform, so ask away. I really love this platform.
I know. We are going to do something together real time soon. That's for sure.
Great. Can't wait.
Okay, goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.